That wasn't a good start there.
Sorry.
Where any closer to a quarterback decision, you think, or when do you think that'll come about?
We're going to go through our work today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Friday will be an off day, and we'll kind of it's just still kind of right there. They all have maybe different strengths, but we're still running the same offense. So whether it be movement plays, drop back plays, quick passes, you name it, we're continuing to try to work on the run game and enhance that. And they're all we just keep rotating the way we're doing. Statistically, I guess they're all about the same. We'll talk about Thursday.
Is it important?
After Thursday, we'll talk about Friday and move forward next week.
Is it important for you to have one all game week here? Like if you're heading into, do you need to have one 7 days or 6 days or whatever before your first game?
Somebody's going to go out there first. It just would, like right now they're all doing well, and I respect. We're not trying to be coy. It's like it's going to be a different offense. I'm not trying to surprise no one. We're not trying to motivate anybody. It's just they're all kind of fighting pretty good and kind of a close call. And they're all solid players. They're all good teammates. They all got to be better too, though. And so we're instead of, we talked about yesterday, should we go ahead and maybe start going direction? Let's just go through Thursday and just make sure the direction we want to go is good. We're getting a lot of work. We're on the field a long time. We're getting some great meeting time. It's a great camp schedule. Started out very cool. Now we're getting a little heat. Our team's hung in there good, so we're getting a lot of work, a lot of reps. Actually, if you were, we're not having them talk to you because you guys, just want to talk to certain guys and ask certain things. So, but their arms are actually probably a little bit tired, as much throwing as we've done. So they like they're standing or not getting plays. So, and I think again, from a leadership deal, the way we do it, all three of those guys are part of our little leadership group deals where they have groups. I think they're all respected by their peers. We don't stand and talk in the huddle. We talk at the line. So we're not having a bunch of speeches by the quarterback. None of those guys are seniors. So they're just good players, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. They all, though, have enough talent, and the offense needs to be good enough. It's going to be a positive, not a negative.
Is using more than one of them on the table at all at this point?
It could be because they all have different strengths. Again, we're running Cam, we're running Nate more, we're making Trey throw more, but naturally Trey can make some more plays with his feet, a little bit more smoother. Those other guys probably are a little bit more on target, better percentage throwers. So, and that's why, again, when we look at the total picture of where we want to go and how to do it, and sometimes in practice, it's we're not having a bunch of philosophical meetings and State of the Union as a staff. We're kind of prepping for the next practice and evaluating where we're at with just what needs to be covered. Like today was our first time a little bit of scout work, trying to get some Indiana State looks. Today was some short yardage work for the offense. Tomorrow will be some Hail Mary plays and last minute plays. So there's all those things you're prepping for, and then we got to throw the recruiting in there. We got to talk about recruits and what are we doing there. So, we're not sitting down and just hashing the quarterback deal out because it's not a negative. And like I say, we'll go through Thursday, and there won't be a formal big parade announcement deal. We'll just talk about Friday, and I think we have press conference on if we announce it Friday or Saturday. And if we know, but it's not trying to jack with Indiana State or anybody else. We're going to do what we do and see if we can do it better.
Defensively, is there any area where you're really pleased with the progress?
Well, the effort. Getting off blocks, tackling appears, although we don't do a bunch of scrimmaging. Got better depth. D-line's coming along really nice. Young linebackers are figuring out. Really like Timmy Bennett, the one corner, showing up a lot. And that being said, that's really helping Mullen and Hunter and B. Williams are playing better. And so, we're gaining, until we all get out there and really see. But, we've had some days where we go third down, and they've won the drill. There's days in the scrimmage the other day, we had a first and goal line stand. We had several short yardage stands. We had a 16-play drive that ended in a fourth down stop, which is good to see. So they're competing and gaining. But until you get in game situations, we got to have some confidence. Do we transfer the practice setting into here when the scoreboard's up? We'll know here in a week.
You have a handful of practices before your first game. What do you need to see or get accomplished from here to there?
This week is more about game management deals with we need toughness without beating our team up. And we need to go hard without getting tired. So it's a little bit of balance of the toughness, being physical, not beating yourself up, and coming in fresh. There's a balance there of, is it too little, is it too much? But after that, then it's game situations. When we're doing kick plays, trying to get our scout team to play fast enough, you get a realistic look because it's game speed of a punt return, a kick return. Learning how to manage clock situations and when to get out of bounds or not, when to get down or not. So it's some game situations. It's getting some true kicking speed so you can have some legitimate plays in the kicking game, both coverage and return. And then outside of figuring the quarterback deal out and who the 11 guys that Ja got there first on both sides, it's some toughness without crossing that line. It's kids to keep building that.
Any injury updates? Anyone that
We got
might not play?
we got a couple.
first one?
And we did have one bad one here. Dan Feeney has had an injury to a foot that right now he's getting surgery, and it's going to probably take his season. So he'll be out. You can wait and Twitter it after I'm done. Okay, for what it's worth, because you don't get one up on everybody else. So y'all want to Twitter it out, and then we'll go. Huh?
We can
All
wait.
right. So, but no, it's unfortunate. This guy fell, and it's a Liz Frank injury, which will be one that will take a little bit of time. But I think we're deep enough in O-line. As a program, we got to be where you overcome that. So it's not the best. It's really bad for Dan. I think our team's going to be good enough that we can start handling some adversity and some little hiccups. He's a quality player, heck of a player. One of the reasons we play freshmen happened last year to Trey. Sometimes you get a little nick up, you get that year back. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Got a couple guys that are coming off of again, Cormier's not yet to practice full go, so he's probably a week or two out. Everybody else should be pretty full go, but Dan will be lost, and it'll take a little time.
When did that happen?
Who are you looking at to, I guess, replace him? Who are the guys that are kind of really battling?
We've got, Jake Reed's been playing center and guard. Bernard Taylor, of course, has started. Kaminsky's done very, very well at camp. Jake Bates, we got some guys at Ralston Evans you can kick in there. It's a position where we're deep enough that, again, good player, and you kind of feel for Danny because you kind of love the way he plays. But I think we're good enough at that group that I expect that group, and I expect our team to be a team now that can pick up the slack when there's a little hiccup and not feel sorry for yourselves and move on like a winning team. And it's a last year when Trey went down, we had a 5-game skip. Everybody said, we threw it well, we still didn't play good enough. So you got to play better. And so it'd be an opportunity to see if we've grown. So if we play not just well at Dan's spot, but if we continue to play well as a team, that'll be a sign showing our team's gaining on it.
What about with Bolger? What do you need to see from him?
Playing well and hard, kicking game, impressive on punt and kickoff cover, blocking better. It's just being a complete player. He's really doing well.
What do you like about what you get out of the tight end position in general, basically? What do you feel like that tight end over effect?
We're getting 3 guys because Anthony Casaro is really nice, catches it well, gaining some blocker. And Danny Friend is maybe the best of all 3. He's going to be, he ain't ready yet, but now he's going to be what your real good tight ends look like. He can block, he can run and catch. Thought we recruited him, he might be like Spriggs and growing into being an O lineman. I think he's going to be a big upper level tight end for this league. So I think all 3 of those guys will play this year. I think Danny will play and give us a little bit more physical presence. He's a good basketball player, catches it well. Casaro's doing very well, very similar to Ted. The drop off from Ted to Casaro, very minimal. So you'll probably see some 2 to tight end sets or more of those guys playing to keep themselves fresh.
Not trying to just
Getting better fullback play too with Mike Raplogo and Matt Zacheski. Raplogo's playing DN, but every day in our Big Ten period we take him over there. He's our ISO, he's our power guy. We play action pass with him and Zacheski. So we'll have a little bit better 2-back situation if we need it based on situations, games, and the game situation.
Well, I was going to say, how much more do you see yourself using that? I mean, obviously you guys are more of a spread-based team to begin with, but how much would you like to add that more into it?
The play concepts, Dustin, are very similar. It's just you got, it's a 1-back zone player. You insert a fullback and it's a 2-back. It's a 1-back power or a 2-back. So we pull guys 1-back, pull guys 2-back. So it's very, very similar. I don't think do we do it a lot? I don't know, but I think it's good enough that when it's 3rd and 1 or 4 minute into the game or goal line, you go to it. And if you get the first down, you'll live with it a little bit. Because I think Bolger's a lot better without the ball as a blocker, and Anthony and Danny are better. And I think Matt Zacheski and Mike Raplogo are playing as good as any fullback. Now we're probably have better receivers than they are fullback,
Right.
but they're better fullbacks than we've had.
not just trying to run down the roster, but you've mentioned Colin Rarig a few times. Just impressed you this camp. Kind of where is he in terms of replacing Will? What's allowed that transition to be?
Will was awesome, and one of the older guys that kind of balled in and took us hook, line, and sinker, and Raplogo and a couple guys, so you love that. But as a player, Colin is probably more talented, a little bigger, a little more happy. Colin walked on. He's got a little bit more range, length as far as doing things. He's got 16 starts, and not a slight of Will Maddie, who was one of our better leaders and best we've been around since we've been here. But Colin is doing well, and he should have a good year for us. And Jake Reed is the second guy, but maybe he might be now lineman 5. So Jake might be our backup center, but technically we'll start. And guard's a little easier in center because you don't have to snap it, but it's really the same job as far as who you block and how you block and all that deal.
You mentioned the other day that about the 5 the 5 scholarships you gave to the walk-ons. Is that it, or do you still have more to
There's
give?
2 to give.
Still 2 to
And we're
give.
just evaluating where we need to spend the money. But there's 2 to give, and we got this week to figure it out.
You mentioned the running game quite a bit.
And some of those scholarships, if we give a walk-on, it's always a 1-year unused aid, and you re-earn it. That way we actually use that space to go recruit. And then they continue to do well. And then if you do have attrition, someone leaves, someone's dismissed, or someone doesn't make their grades, you got quality replacements. So it's almost like the college way of, because we can't cut players, but it's a way of rewarding a walk-on, but then you also can keep your recruiting class at max numbers if you can. So,
How important is it for the running game to take a step up with what you guys want to get done this fall?
a lot, and that's why again, if we are doing what we call our Big Ten emphasis, 2 back or 2 tight end, it's not a waste of time. Blocking's blocking, reach block, down block, running the balls behind your pads, getting off of blocks, getting off a block. The better we run, that we have play action. We have shots that we didn't ever really get because we're always just quick throwing and perimeter throwing and running screens and dinks. So if you can get some run game, you can do all that stuff, but you can get some movements and shots, and it's a lot more lineman friendly. Protection is better. You got that end worrying about a zone read, then a cut block, then a power play, instead of just 10 off and rushing your quarterback. I think one of the reasons in the pro game that zone replay is so or so relevant in this last year is that the ends are always getting upfield to rush the quarterback. Well, now you make that guy slow down. And if you're an offensive tackle, the more that end's thinking, the easier your job is, because he just can't tee off and get after you. So the better the run game, it'll give us balance, but it'll just make us a more complete team. And we're not going to win a lot if we're not tough. And you got to be tough to run it, and you got to be tough to play good defense. So we're never going to be good if we're not tough anyway. So it's a little bit of kind of what we're trying to stand on as a program.
Sorry, just one more follow up about Rarick. Just how much has he grown in the last 2 years? I know he was a guy who played.
He's
at
gained
a
about
young
12
age.
pounds. I think his height's about the same.
I know he played. I know he played young. I know he's rotated a lot of different positions along the interior line.
He's got a lot more self-esteem, confidence where he knows he belongs, and he's a pretty good leader. But he's just got a lot more self-esteem, positive vibe. Not that he was ever negative, but you're always like, I'm young, one, I'm a walk-on 2. I think he walks his chest out, and I'm one of the guys. I'm just as good as those guys. And so again, he's a solid player for us, and like I say, he's done well.
That's good.
Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you being here.